ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing today? My name is Bilify, and today we are here to counter a glove. Which glove might that be? Why, of course, it's the silly glove. And these are going to be the amazing goobers that are going to be helping us to figure out what counters this brand new silly glove. We've got Carl, CT, Gravity, Junyu, Klee, Scho, Arkham, Train, Ivan, and Laser. A full crew today. Shout out to all of them. I appreciate you a lot. But let's get into it. Can you just fall asleep and avoid the lollipop, or will it still hit you? Oh, you could dodge that way. So if they're running after you, just fall asleep. They could still slap you, so it's not like a full counter. It's just something that's funny. We'll give it a good old 50-50. In MR form, you don't take that much knockback. Yeah, very easily controlled. You wouldn't even have to worry about them. And if they slap you, they get something on their screen to where they can't see. I like to classify this more as a protector glove more than I do a counter. I'm thinking reverse is going to be a top counter here. Yep. The one thing with reverse, though, is your cooldown is going to be a little bit longer, so they're going to be able to use it twice, maybe 3 times before you get your actual cooldown back. So you have to be real careful with this. But you can knock them back. I would say Slicer is a deterrent in this case because all the other throwables would be a little bit more harder to hit, but Slicer, since it has such a broad wing to it, would be a little bit more easier to hit. But this isn't a counter. This is just something that you could continuously throw at them to kind of throw them off their game. Do they hit people out of clouds? Ooh, no, they don't. So the only thing that they could do is just hit with a normal slap. You could drive around with somebody as a passenger, and they could hit their ability. And you could just run around like this. So this is more of a combo glove, but this is not a direct counter. Even though it bypasses the AoE, it just forces a slap between the two of you. So you could use this in different ways to make a nice play, but it would not be my go-to. I don't think Oven has a big enough reach to protect you from them. All right. So they would have to sell out to go into the oven itself in order to hit me. So in that case, I want to say that Oven would win that. If you keep your distance, it does work. And you're not going to have multiple of these chasing you down. So I think it's definitely good. As long as you're paying attention to like your surroundings, you could easily catch them. So I would say that Oven and Reverse have been the most effective ones so far. Ooh, can you panic blink? You absolutely can. So if you got users coming after you and you pop the blink, they're not going to be able to hit you with this. They would have to slap first. And in that time, you could turn around and hit them. So blink is absolutely a counter. Sbeves, you're perfectly fine as long as you're in Sbeve form. If they try to hit you, of course, you're a rock. Nothing's happening to you while you're in rock form. But you do get little Sbeves with little spinner hats. Little itty bitty spinners. The 64 glove might be a good choice here. With 64's movement, it's going to be really difficult for them to catch up to you and do practically anything against you. You just got to be quick and understand where they're at, and as long as you're double jumping, it's going to be really difficult for them to land any shots on you. I low-key want to say that 64 has been the best so far. Like, with good movement, you should never be hit by them. Throwback to the Bird Gang. They're in V formation as well. Or they got a tower going and everything. Every time I come out here, it's something new. I wonder what happens with the God's Hand here. Alright, the thing to see is if they use their ability, will it affect me if I'm constantly camping somebody? No, he wouldn't be able to hit it. Okay. The God's Hand glove is interesting because if a silly user played perfectly, they could use the AoE to get God's Hand, and the God's Hand would never be able to touch them. But a silly user only has to mess up once, and then they get one shot by God's Hand. And that goes for all of the one-shots. So all one-shots are like 50-50s in a way, because you just need them to mess up once. What happens with Titan users? Oh, just not even affected by it? No, Titan's perfect. They'd have to do the slaps. So it looks like the Titan's going to be a top counter. The only thing you'd have to watch out for is your long cooldown after you get out of Titan and before you get into Titan. So there are very few deterrents on this list for the silly glove, but I think Bob makes it on there. If you use this on the user that is chasing you down, it's going to force them to battle you in a certain way if they continue to try to get you, or 2, it will get them off of you. And by the time they go to the cube and come back, you should have Bob off of cooldown. Glitch might also be a deterrent. Yeah, this is definitely a deterrent. It's more or less just to get them off of you if they're consistently trying to chase you down. This is like a, oh my god. This is like a, hey, go away from me type of glove. How effective is Fish's flop cooldown? You could always fling to a different side, but they get their ability when you have about half left. This mildly works. It's like 50-50. If you manage to leash one of them, can they use their explosive ability? They can, but you're not really in danger since you're tangled up. You could just drag them into a hit. Like that. I wonder if Boogie's effective enough, or if they can use this, jump up in the air, and swing the lollipop and then land on you. Yeah, that's what I thought would happen. This isn't a perfect counter. This is just something that if you got people chasing you, you could easily do this to just meme them and then slap them out. So if you have great timing, you could absolutely catch them off guard with Boogie. Just know that they can escape by double jumping, so you're gonna have to slap them pretty quick. And of course, watch out for the sky drop. That's the biggest thing with them. Once they know that you have Boogie, they're gonna try to sky drop on you. How effective would Retro be? This is more or less just a glove to where whoever has better reaction time or who can do this or that, this is like an equal match. So we have a goober here. All we'd have to do is just use the ability, fly over. He's out of his ability, and now we can go back to regular fighting. That, or I could swap over to my band hammer and use the hammer like this. Oof, oof. Oh, he saved himself, that's right. But then we're right here. I missed! Ah! Yeah, exactly how I thought it'd be with Retro. It comes down to skill. If you're better than the other person, you're gonna outmaneuver him with Retro. But that goes the same with Silly. If you're better than the other person, you can outmaneuver the Retro user with Silly. It all depends on the skill. These two go head to head with each other. I think Null would be a deterrent, maybe like a slight counter, if they can't kill the minions with the lollipop. Yeah, you cannot kill these minions with the lolly. So yeah, Null here is going to be another deterrent. It works the same way as Bob. With the invincible potion of Alchemist, of course you're safe. You need to find a piece of elder wood, and then you also need to find yourself a mushroom, which is right over here, this little handy dandy guy right here. Go ahead and drop down your cauldron, open up your crafting list, put in 1 elder wood, followed by 2 mushrooms, or you could do 2 mushrooms and 1 elder wood. Doesn't matter how you get them in there. The recipe is 2 mushrooms, 1 elder wood. Click that ladle, drink said potion, and if they try to use said lollipop, nothing is going to happen. As long as you don't pull out your glove. As soon as you pull out your glove, you could be slapped. Or a potion. I think they also changed it to potion, so beware of that. How effective is Schlob? You could use Schlob. You're not really in danger unless you're near the edge. Yeah, even like if I'm towards the edge over here, look how far I can get. Like I could be like right here, and if I get lollipopped, I wouldn't die. Yeah, this works out very well. So after seeing all that, of course, I'm going to say Schlob is going to be a fantastic counter and one of the top counters on this. Avatar should be a great counter here. I need help. I need help. But with these minions, you can't be affected by the lollipop. The only thing you can be affected by is a slap itself. So even though that looked like it hit me, it did not. The only thing that affects an Avatar user is the slap itself. I feel like Poltergeist should be good. I don't think that they're going to be able to hit your body with a lollipop. It has to be the slap. Yeah, that does not work. The great thing with this is if they fly up in the air, you can also fly up in the air. So yeah, we like Poltergeist here. How hard would it be for them to catch a UTG user? The thing with this is we have a jump dash that gives us a boost. So if they're trying to chase you down, it'll be really difficult for them to do so. And of course you have the slide that you can slide right into them. So yes, UTG users, you can use this for sure. I think you should be safe in Eggler if you're in the egg itself. Yeah, as the egg, they can't use the lollipop on you. It has to be a slap. But I wouldn't put it at the top counter because once you get out of egg, you're kind of ragdolled for a second. So if they're like constantly chasing you, it's not going to end out the best for you. So this is a great glove to just escape with. And then of course, you could always try to go and fight fire with fire by using Silly against the Silly user. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for all of the counters of this brand new Silly glove. It doesn't have too many, you know what I mean? Shout out to everybody you see on your screen right now. Carl, Eris, Gravity, Train, Junyu, Crafty. I appreciate you all. Shout out to all the people that were here beforehand and had to leave as well. But let me know, which counter was your favorite? I think my favorite counter might be MR just because you can goober them. That or Titan. And also let me know which counter you think is the best. Personally, I think I'm going to be using the Schlob against them a lot because even if they do end up hitting me, I can get right back into the battle and continue slap grinding. So I like Schlob the best. But what do you think is the best? Other than that, we all hope that you have an amazing rest of your day or night whenever you do end up watching this, and we shall see you in the next one. Later!